Hello, I'm going to be doing this vlog review about It's a Wonderful Life by Frank Capra. It came out in 1946. It follows the life of George Bailey, a man who grew up in Bedford Falls. He is a well liked guy all over town. Everyone knows him, everyone likes him. Um, and one day he gets into some trouble with the law and he's really close to being arrested and sent to prison. And when he starts to question whether his life is even worth the trouble of going through all of that, and he starts to think like his life he's better off dead. uh, he is better off dead, and also the people around him, including his wife and children, are better off if he died and they were to get his insurance checked. So when he starts thinking about that, about the value of his life, his guardian angel comes down. His angel is named Clarence. He comes down and shows George what his life, what other people's lives would be like if he wasn't born at all. So when he does this, he sees that all the good that he's done in his life, even from when he was a little boy to the current age that he is during the movie. um, he sees that he has had a big impact, and if he wasn't born, that he would that all these people's lives would be uprooted and everything would be so different and so much worse than it is right now. And now I want to talk about some of my favorite parts of the movie. In the beginning scene, like the very first scene in the movie, it shows like few shots of the town, and narrating over it are a few different people praying to God and to Joseph, Jesus, and Mary to save George Bailey, because he has impacted their lives so much that they feel it necessary that he just needs the help right now. He can use all the help that he can get. And so in that scene, after you're done hearing all the people praying, they kind of pans up to like the sky, and it's like space, and you just see a bunch of different clusters of like stars and galaxies and whatnot. And then you see uh, certain clusters start lighting up, and you hear hear those clusters talking, and you find out that those clusters talking is Joseph, Jesus, and Mary. And I thought that was really interesting because I've never seen that in a movie before, especially in an older one like this one. I just never really I've always seen uh, religious figures always depicted as people, just directly people, never as like galaxies and stars like that. So I thought that was really interesting. I also really enjoyed that the way that the tone in the movie kind of changed at certain points. Like for example, the first few minutes are super hopeful and joyous and just very light, like George's, because he's at that point he's this kid who's just dreaming about traveling the world and doing whatever he wants, and he's really hopeful about his future that way. But then as soon as it changes, as soon as his father dies and he has to take over his father's company to ensure the lives of all the people in the town that need his help. So after that, after his father dies and he takes over the company and he has to put his dream on hold for like I think it was 4 years. It After that point, it just becomes, especially not just the tone of the movie, but more George. He becomes more cynical and hopeless, and not as hopeful and joyous as he was before his father passed. But that cynicism, or I think that's the word for it, that hopelessness that he feels, kind of changes and stops when he meets up with this girl that he had went to the dance with. Like he danced with this girl like years prior, and then 4 years later he meets up with her again after she comes home from college, and there's this woman named Mary, and he realizes how much he loves her and how much he cares for her, and that brings back that hope in his life that things can be different. Even though everything didn't go exactly as he had hoped, he still had Mary, and that could change everything and make it and change it back to the way he wants it to be. And that actually brings me to one of my another one of my favorite scenes is when Mary and George are on the phone talking to Sam, and you can literally feel and see the tension between George and Mary, and it's amazing. I love the way he was looking at her and the way like just I can just tell that the way that we're standing, it was just like I can't. That like neither one of them can pull away, and it was just amazing. I loved watching that. It was really fun to see, and so I really enjoyed that. And that after they get married, they that kind of brings back the joy in his life and the excitement that he had before he took over his father's company. But then that was taken away when another unfortunate event happened, and that took away his hope again. Uh, but slowly but surely, he was able to bring it back. And one day, one of his father's biggest rivals, Mr. Potter, comes in and he sees that George is becoming successful in the town and how much everyone likes him, and prefers him over uh, prefers George over him, Mr. Potter. So Mr. Potter tries to um, kind of diffuse that love for George, or like just get him into his pocket so that he's an ally instead of an enemy. He tries to offer George like this amazing job that has all the perks that George perks that George could have possibly asked for. In a job with including like enough money to really support his wife and his future life, and times to travel to different places like to New York and to Europe, all these things that George's friends got to do before even he had to, even he got to. Uh, and when George, uh, he was really considering the job offer and he was really going to take it, but he knew the kind of person that Mr. Potter was. And the thing that made him realize uh, who Mr. Potter was is him giving him a handshake. And as soon as he gives him that handshake, he looks at his hands and it's almost slimy, like some kind of snake. Like I know snakes are not slimy, but like it makes me think of like he's just some kind of just slippery character that you can never trust. And in that moment, after he feels his hand and he sees it slimy and it feels weird to him, it's like that moment he's just like, wait, you were never a friend of mine. You were never a friend of my father. I don't know what your plan is. I don't know what you're trying to do to me, but I'm not gonna let you um not gonna let you take advantage of me and ruin my character that I see in myself. So I really enjoyed that scene. That was really cool. That it didn't take him to contemplate for too long. It didn't take him having this whole monologue within himself to figure out what Mr. Potter's plot was. It just took that one simple handshake to just really snap him out of it and just be like, "What am I doing?" So I really enjoyed this film. I've heard of this film multiple times because this is a classic Christmas movie, but I've never seen it until this moment for doing this vlog. And I don't know why I just never got around to it. And now that I've watched it, it's honestly, now I can honestly say it's one of my favorite movies. I really enjoyed just how emotional he got at the end when he realized uh, that his life means more to the people around him than he thought it was. And seeing him on that bridge begging God to bring him back and to live again, it made me very emotional. And I didn't expect to be that taken off guard. And then to see his face when he saw all the people that he's helped over the years and all these people that he considered his friends come back and to help him with his trouble. And I just found that really touching and really heartfelt. So I really enjoy this movie. I completely recommend it. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.